Other stories to the nation's capital, where the arraignment of Binance Holdings Limited and one of its senior executives, Tigran Gambaryan, by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the Federal Inland Revenue Service has been stalled at the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja. The arraignment could not go on as the second defendant has not been served with a charge by the FIRS. Counsel to the second defendant drew the attention of the court to the fact that his client, whom the federal government scheduled for arraignment, does not have an idea of the charges against him. Counsel to the FIRS, who then told the court that service on the second defendant has been difficult as he has been in custody. Counsel to the FIRS also prayed the court to grant leave to the defendant so he can be served in court. Counsel to the defendant had raised questions about the conduct of the federal government in serving the charge on the defendant, but did not object to it. The court then ordered that the defendant be served in court. The prosecution prayed to the court for an adjournment to enable the defendant go through the charge and be ready to take his plea. The court adjourned till 19th April for arraignment. Well, let's bring in our judiciary correspondent, Celestina Area, for more on this. Celestina, for those who have not been following the developments around this particular case, give us an overview of all that has played out and then what happened today in court.
Okay, Precious, we recall that the federal government banned the operation of Binance in the country due to them not being registered in Nigeria, and also the allegations of money laundering, tax evasion, and also operating specialized business without license. And it was in the effort of the federal government to balance the currency, which is to appreciate the naira against the dollar. But in so doing, the federal government extended an invitation to executives of Binance, where two of them came into the country to meet with the federal government and have talk with the federal government. They were taken to the NSA, and in that process, federal government made some demands to them, asking for some data which they refused to present, saying that before they could answer the questions posed by the federal government to them, they should be taken to their various embassies. But this was not done. But while all that was going on, one of the executives escaped. That was what we were told, but that is still another issue. So the federal government got an order from court to detain the remaining executive that was in the custody. Later, he was transferred to the EFCC, and today he was brought before the court. The defendants are supposed to be three, which is the Binance as a company, which is a corporate entity, the manager who is at large, and the defendant today that was in court that couldn't be arraigned, according to the FIRS, which is also a prosecutor in this particular case. They said they've not been able to serve the second defendant, Mr. Gambaryan, the charge. And the court ordered that the charges be served on him in court. After that, they prayed that the court adjourn so he could go to the charge and on the 19th come to take his plea. But for the EFCC said that they have served Mr. Gambaryan with their own charge. And mind you, that of the EFCC is 5-count charge on money laundering, and that of the FIRS is on tax evasion. But the EFCC has not served the first defendant, which is Binance, the charge. But they had moved to serve the charge of Binance on the second defendant, being a staff of Binance, a representative. But the defendant refused to receive service, that he did not come in court, he did not appear in court in the capacity of Binance, he came as a defendant. But the issues now that we need to look at is the federal government is suing Binance alongside these two executives. What are the charges against them? What offense has they committed as an individual? Before a corporate entity can be sued, it has to be the executives of this or the directors of this company or this entity. This person that was arraigned, that ought to be arraigned today, was he an executive or is just a staff? So this back and forth was what played out in court today. So the court said that on the 8th of April, they will come back for ruling if the court will accept, if Mr. Gambaryan can accept service on behalf of Binance, or the court can enter a plea of not guilty, being the fact that Binance is a corporate entity.
All right, thank you so much, Celestina. Thank you for that very clear update, the analysis and update that you did there. We'll be looking forward to, I think, April 19th for the arraignment of the Binance executive. Our correspondent there, Celestina Area, live for us in the nation's capital.